Hey there everyone, how are you doing? This is Wiggle speaking, and today we're going to go for the second episode of the Rework perks. Now, as I said in the previous episodes, uh, which are only one, sadly, my goal here is to make new corrupt interventions, to make new Popgoes Divisals, new Unbreakables, Dead Hearts, perks that you will use like in every match. You will just consider them. Okay, like I don't know, like right now, does anybody consider Monstrous Shrine? If you don't have any other options, sure you will. But let's say you have any other perk, anything. You will consider other perks, I'm pretty sure. So we pretty much need better perks because the meta has been this for a while right now, for a long time. And if some of the changes seem a little bit too overwhelming, uh, pardon me because that's what I think they deserve to be right now to make them actually really, really strong and make you to be obligated to make some very, very hard decisions to what builds you run. I don't want every single match to be pop, run, undying, tinker, corrupt, save the best for last, things like that. I want to see other perks, but I don't. Almost never do. Unless it's that own killer's perks, like I don't know if you're running against Oni, you might seem Blood Eco, you might seem Nemesis, but have you ever seen that on, I don't know, like let's say Trapper? Or have you ever seen Unnerving Presence on somebody else other than the Doctor? Or maybe the Trapper itself because it's his own perk? You don't. That's the problem. So I'm looking forward to make that change a little bit and get better. But we'll see about that. So let's jump right into the video. Please make sure to subscribe and leave a like and comment before you jump right into it. And it will really help me out to make contents like this. And overall, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy it.
Over habits of my heart, I can't say no. It's ripping me apart.
Alright, so the first trick that we got here is Hangman Trick. Hangman's Trick. Whatever the fuck. I don't even care at this point. This perk is so bad and so situational and so useless, even in those situations, that it just makes me vomit. Just horrible, downright horrible perk. Um, what it does is that every time somebody tries to sabotage a hook, you'll gain a notification. Now let's see. When somebody sabotages a hook, unless they have a specific add-on, they will make a noise. And let's say they take the longest sabotage ever, and it takes about 2.5 seconds, I think, maybe 3 seconds, I'm not sure, something like that, something between 2 or 3. And then you will gain a notification, right? So what this perk does is that gives you a notification here, and then another one in 3 seconds. What are you going to do with that information? Two same location things. Both of them are location, not even aura. It won't even reveal the aura of the. I think even if it would reveal the aura of the person who sabotages the hook for 20 seconds, it wouldn't even be that crazy. Because who sabotages the hooks right now? And even if they do, it's probably because you're carrying someone and they want to stop you from using that hook. And if they do, what are you going to do with it? And it, let's say in 30 matches, you will face a survivor who has a sabotage challenge that start the match and then they sabotage a hook. Okay, so you deserve to get some advantages. So let's say if I wanted to rework this perk in a way that I wanted to rework it in a different way, but let's say if I wanted to rework it in a way that it would reveal the aura for a long time, I don't think it would have been even that crazy, all that much. But let's say um, we don't want to do it that way. And also, when you're carrying a survivor, you will see the auras of survivors who are within 6 meters of a hook. This is also completely useless because If someone is next to a hook, they want to sabotage it. Usually, hooks are not close to generators, so you don't get all that information. It's just bad, dude. It's just horrible. The changes that I had in mind is that first, when a survivor wants to sabotage a hook, they will gain a very difficult skill check, something that catches them off guard a little bit. I wanted to go out of my way and make it that this skill check won't have a sound. It's just skill check. And if you miss it, you will inflict it with the incapacitated status effect, which makes you unable to sabotage hooks anymore. So let's say somebody wants to make a save and they missed a skill check. Now they're incapacitated for 10 seconds. I don't want to make it crazy because it would stop you from doing gens. It's not the purpose of this perk, but for 10 seconds, let's say. And with that, they can't do the sabotage, and now they have to just fuck off. Maybe they take a hit and they just miss a skill check, lose the situation for them. However, this effect is also very, very mediocre, so I added this effect that it causes you to see the survivor's aura while you're carrying the survivor on your back for 10, 15, 20 meters. I actually wanted to increase this range since the shadow step is coming to the game. Boon shadow steps because you to won't be able to see the aura and scratch marks of the survivors. So this perk wouldn't be all that crazy anyway. Like 20 meters, maybe they're in boon step and you don't even see them. Shadow step, sorry. And I wanted to make it 25, but I thought maybe too much. Honestly, I don't think it's not all that crazy still. But overall, with these changes, maybe you can fit this perk into some kind of an information thing. It might help nurse, for example, things like that. Causes you to have much more aggressive kind of a style. I don't know, might be good for spirit, maybe Deathslinger, Wraith. Um, Killers who can hop on a chase very quickly could take advantage of this. Like I don't know, others like Trickster maybe. He's also good. Maybe even Huntress if you're good at calculating the place that they are already. But I think overall with these changes, this perk is already in a better place. It's not super duper good, but it's at least it has some effect, and you might be able to put it in some of your builds. I don't know, but overall, I think it's much better right now. Our next perk is the perk Predator. Predator is probably one of the shittiest perks in the game. It causes the scratch marks to be much, much closer to each other and just in a weird kind of way. Um, so I wanted to change that entirely, actually. First of all, while you're in chase, the footsteps of survivors are increased by 50, 75, 100%, so you will hear them more clear. And also, instead of scratch marks, while in chase and outside of chase, you will see footsteps instead of scratch marks. Something like, you know, their shoes with the directions also. If they are running, the scratch marks will stay in the environment for 4, 5, 6 seconds. If they're walking, the scratch marks will stay in the environment for 1, 2, 3 seconds. So this will cause tracking to be a lot more easier. Um, a little room for shenanigans and, you know, mind games. It won't affect the spirit, however, if they add, you know, I don't know if you have certain add-ons. You have Predator as well, and those add-ons cause you to not be able to see scratch marks. You won't be able to see footsteps either. But overall, I think this way it actually makes this perk a little bit more useful. You know, tracking, it's supposed to be a tracking kind of a thing, but it's actually sometimes it won't even help you. It will actually confuse you a little bit more than you should be. So I think overall for this change, it's a little bit better. Now our next perk is Blood Warden. Now Blood Warden has recently received a buff, not directly to it, but it's a buff to Blood Warden as well. Before, survivors could just all go out of the hatch, and your Blood Warden would be absolutely shit. It would make nothing going on. It's just a meme kind of a thing, and also survivors could just leave if they assume that you have Blood Warden, especially for huntresses and stuff like that. It would just happen more often than not. So the change that I had in mind is that first of all, now nobody can grouply go out of the match with the hatch in the next update. So it's good because closing the hatch wouldn't cause Bloodborne to be activated. I thought before this update, I was thinking that if you close a hatch, like I don't know, somebody jumps in the hatch with a key and then you close it, Blood Warden would have been activated for 2 minutes instead of 1 minute because maybe they chase them, they won't open a gate, stuff like that, and maybe 90 seconds would be also good. I don't know, but now I don't want to add that change because of the changes to the hatch. Now it's much better. Um, so the changes that I had in mind is that while a survivor is opening the exit gate while they're in progress, you can see that survivor's aura. And also you can tell how much of progress they have on that door, on that exit gate, by the intensity of their aura. So the more they're red, the more they have opened the gate. The thing is that with the current meta and the current things that the survivors do, if you let go of a door, you know, 99 it and then just leave it is the best solution against Blood Warden, especially because then you can just open the door at the last second to just leave. So I think it's a little bit unfair to the perk because it makes it so hard to use. And if you want to make actually use out of it, maybe you should open the exit gate for them, which causes them to realize that you have Blood Warden anyways. So it's not a good idea most of the time. So if a survivor 99s a gate and lets go of it, it will start regressing at a rate of 100, 150, and 200%. So it takes about, I think, 20 seconds to open a gate. So in 10 seconds, it will be at zero again. So you will either have to open it or the gate will be at zero. I wanted to make it immediate zero, but it would be a little bit unfair, I think. Um, So yeah, this way you can't just counter Blood Warden by something that is so easy to do, and you actually do it in every single match you have, and it just makes it a little bit, how harder to encounter and harder to manage for survivors because it's 1 minute kind of thing, and now survivors need to make some decisions, and it makes them a little bit harder for them. So overall, I think it's a better change for Blood Warden. Our next perk is Brutal Strength. Now, this perk, when you read the description, it's like that you're like, okay, this is going to be crazy. You will break things with brutal strength. No, it won't be that crazy. It's not so horrible. The fact that it stacks with other things is kind of cute, but still, the effect is just so mediocre and just so small. Uh, I think, in my opinion, Brutal Strength will always be a 3-star perk. It will never be all that crazy. So I wanted to add an effect to it. The percentage is not so bad since it is stacks. Just wanted to keep it that way. But I wanted to add an effect, kind of a Spirit Fury kind of an effect. Every time you're stunned with a pallet, you will gain a token. Uh, the next time, up to 4, 3, 2 maximum tokens. The next time when Brutal Strength is charged, the next time you break something, it will be 80% faster. So it saves a lot. It's like you can bring this with enduring, brutal strength, spirit fury, shit like that, and the pallets will be eaten by you just in a second. It's much stronger. Uh, but I just wanted to add this effect. It's not you know a complete effect that always happens, but sometimes it will be your brutal strength. You just break things really quickly. And also, I wanted to turn it off, give it the ability. A lot of perks in DBD need the ability to be turned on and off because sometimes you just don't want to use them. In this situation, it's absolutely useless, and you're forced to use it. You either don't do that action, or you will be forced to use it. So I wanted to give it a toggle button. So maybe you want to kick a gen and you have time. It's okay. You have all the time in the world, and you don't want to waste your brutal strength stack So you just break it normally and then go to another pallet and then break that immediately and hop on a chase relatively quicker and then finish that chase earlier than you should have. But yeah, overall, I think this way, Brutal Strength would be a much, much more viable perk in the game. Last but not the least, by any means, Beast of Prey. This perk is probably one of the shittiest perks in the game. It's the effect doesn't make sense. It's just so mediocre and so stupid. And the extra blood point part is not so bad. I want to keep it that way because the effect is not all that great because it's in game, not post trial blood point gain. But anyways, when you start a chase, you will gain the undetectable status effect once you hit tier 1 bloodlust. So how is this useful? First of all, if you are already in bloodlust tier 1 and you haven't hit a survivor, you probably should drop that chase, or you're about to hit a pallet. You know, break a pallet or use your power or something. And many killers won't even gain bloodlust because of their powers, like Doctor or I don't know Huntress. A lot of killers just don't gain bloodlust due to their nature. So I wanted to add this effect that once when you start a chase, you will gain the undetectable status effect. Um, this effect will go away once you hit Bloodlust Tier 1 or you hit that survivor. But the effect stays, the Bloodlust effect stays as long as you are in the chase with that survivor. So this means if you take Bloodlust Tier 1 and then you hit the survivor, you won't lose your Bloodlust. You keep it and then you will have it as long as the chase goes on with that survivor. If you start a chase with another survivor, you will lose the bloodlust immediately, and you will gain the status effect, the undetectable status effect instead, again. So this will be something that uses that you can use in all of your chases, and actually could be very useful. You don't have to go for any mind games when the chase starts, because you're undetectable, and it's much easier. And I think overall with these changes, it's a way more confusing thing that it was for survivors instead of the killer, and you can actually get value out of this perk now. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know if you like these changes or you think they're a little bit underwhelming, overwhelming. So I would love to hear about your opinions and comments in the comment section. So make sure to write me something about these perks, your opinions and stuff like that. And anyways, thank you so much for watching and have a nice one, everyone.